Hi, it's Guangjun here. Most of you know me as GJ. So I'm the owner of Tombalik, and we are a craft studio that offers classes for the general public in woodworking, metalworking, and most recently in 2022 we started glass blowing. The way we got started was through YouTube, watching some of the videos, mostly the videos from Corning that showed a lot of basic processes, and we built our own furnaces, started gathering glass from it, and over the past 4 years we have developed a pretty robust glass making program, including launching our first lampworking class this year. Myself, I'm a huge Venetian guy. I'm a very big fan of goblet making. So things like these in Venetian style, blown feet, blown stems, Arbolios Maurices. I'm of course a great fan of Bill. In 2024, the winter of 2024, we had an excursion to Corning and had this opportunity to interact with the international glass scene, and that really sparked off my interest, my kind of like a deeper interest in glass blowing and also the teaching of glass. Besides that, in 2023, I traveled to Murano for the first time and had a great experience meeting a lot of people like Cesare and Lino, who gave me a lot of insight into what glass blowing is like in the origin of Venetian glass blowing, but also how it has interacted with the international community. So right now, as has been the case from the start, my obsession with blowing basic tumblers. A lot of my teaching has to do with simple cups, vases, and then when I have time, I spend a lot of my efforts in goblet making. I do find that goblet making is kind of like an extreme sport of glass blowing, and it is something that I enjoy challenging myself with, because it kind of sets a very strong foundation for all other forms of glass blowing and furnace glass work in general. Yeah, so if you look behind me, you can actually see some of the guitars that I made as a kid. So I was a guitar maker and a woodworker long before I was a metal worker. And then after I began metalworking, that gave me the ability to build furnaces and tools. And that's how we got eventually into glass blowing. Right now, it feels like I have a stronger affinity with glass than I have with pretty much all the other materials I had. I think besides the novelty factor of glass being very new to me and being very different, very unique, I also do find that it has challenged me in ways that I never really experienced with the other materials. So glass is very, very fast. Glass is very challenging. You need to have a lot of discipline in your movement, in your practice, in terms of following the rules of glass making, as they would say, right? And you can't really get around it. It's very different from woodworking in particular, where you could go, like in woodworking, you could go really slowly and take your time. You just sort of do it the wrong way, you still end up with something at the end. That was it. But in glass, if you can't work fast and you can't work correctly with the rhythm of the thing, you can never get to the end. So you find that it's almost like a self. It kind of instills its own discipline in terms of how you work, and that to me is very exciting, because you can't cheat. You can't really like take 2 days to make something and still get the end result, right? Because it's just physically impossible. Yeah, so it's definitely taught me things about craft that I could not learn that I was not able to learn, lessons I could not learn from the other materials. And I've actually transferred some of that into my metalwork and my woodwork also. So in general, I do think that it was a great part of my journey going into glass blowing. That being said, right here at the studio, we try not to look at individuals as specialists. So I don't really consider myself specifically as a glass blower. I encourage the team to always look at ourselves as multi-materialists and to look at craft itself as the practice, and not to say, oh, I'm a metal worker, or I'm a wood worker, or I'm a glass blower. Simply because it's completely interconnected together with ceramics, which is one of the great foundations of glass blowing. Without ceramics, glass blowing will not exist, because all the furnaces and crucibles are made from ceramic materials to begin with.